This is Andi Purewal of Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We are in London and I'm joined by the juggernaut, Joyce. Joe, as always, firstly, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, really good. I'm excited for Saturday night. I've got this press conference out of the way, so just a weigh-in, and then chill out in my room for a bit of gaming, and then it's fight night Saturday night, and I've got a tough fight in Christian Hammer to take care of.
Just before we do come on to the fight, you mentioned going back to your hotel room, a bit of gaming, downtime. What does take your mind off of a fight ahead of Saturday night, so you don't just get kind of pent up and just build up that kind of emotions ahead of it?
Yeah, I like to stay quite relaxed and just do what I do. Like in my spare time, I like to game and to watch videos at the same time. So I normally have two screens, so you see, make sure as soon as I check into the hotel, I've got my setup up, and I'm comfortable, relaxed, and it's good to have something to like a bit of a distraction and something to do instead of like constantly thinking about your opponent and being worried and stuff. That's how I like to that's like my downtime. I like to relax. I also like to paint as well, which I've been doing a bit of that as well when I get time.
I was going to say, Joe, obviously you mentioned that my sister's actually got a degree in fine art, so maybe we could get you two to do some work together. But obviously away from that, just talk about working back out with Ishmael Salas in Vegas, Joe. What was it like teaming back up with him, not working with him through the pandemic properly? Now you've had a full camp together again. What was that like?
Yeah, it's really good. It's because he can always pick what I need to work on and like where I'm going wrong, and he can sit and then he builds the session around like correcting those mistakes, and then brings me up like when I hadn't seen him for a while, like over the lockdowns, and I came back, then there's a lot more things I had to work on, but I've had like 3 camps between the last fight, and each time I go back, I'm a bit more. There's less he needs to work on, and then it's more like building and showing me new skills and techniques, and so it's good. And this is the first time in like I don't know quite a few years since he's actually trained me the whole camp and is in my corner. So it's great because after Hammond there'll be big fights.
Obviously, midway through camp, you had that change of opponent. Originally, he was looking set to face Joe Parker. That's not happening now. We're here with Christian Hammer. How did you find adjusting kind of your camp and starting to work towards a different type of fighter?
Yeah, it's fortunately, he's quite a similar style. They're both orthodox. They're both slightly smaller, slightly shorter, but. I guess Hammer kind of comes forward. So in the camp, I've kind of been like working on, improving my fitness, my technique, and biomechanics and stuff. And I just have to make the small adjustments because they're like both. It's not like I'm fighting Usyk and it's going to be a southpaw. It's still orthodox again, and I just get myself to the best level possible. And then when I go in, then I just make the adjustments for like the different styles.
How do you anticipate Saturday night playing out, Joe? Away from obviously you saying you're going to win, what type of fight do you expect? How do you expect it to go when you're in the ring?
I think it's going to be tough because he's durable and he's going to especially the early rounds, he's going to be throwing bombs at me, and he's game. He's had a good training camp, so it's going to be It might be a tough fight, but it's fun and I'm excited.
We saw Hughie Fury a couple of fights ago stop Christian Hammer in the 5th round. Hughie's never been known as a puncher, as it were. Is that not necessarily on your mind at all, but do you want to kind of better what Hughie produced on that night?
Yeah, I always want to aim to make a statement and to be in exciting fights and make your fights exciting and finish with a knockout. That's every boxer kind of wants to do that, and that's something I want to do.
Joseph Parker. How frustrating of a scenario has this been for yourself?
Yeah, it's been very frustrating because I take myself out to Vegas to train with Salas to get the best training, and he gets the best out of me. And as a boxer, you set goals. You want to you have in your mind the opponent you're going to face, and then you build yourself up to that level. And when it's like. When there's changes, it's very frustrating, and especially for the fans and everyone, everyone wants to see it, and like let's BT Sport down, let's Frank Warren down, let's my team at S-Jam down. It's annoying, and yeah, it's just frustrating.
I spoke to Adam earlier and he said that he feels the fight could still happen later this year. I know you're going to kind of wait to see what happens with Usyk AJ, if an opportunity aligns for yourself there with your position in the WBO rankings. But I'm Joseph Parker. What did you make of Ben Shalom's £1.2 million offer to try and take that fight to Sky? Would you be happy to fight on the Sky platform? Do you think Frank would be open to that?
I'd never say never, but like, why would you do that? Like, I'm a BT's fighter, and you know they've looked after me. And have you seen that advert? So it's just like complicated things. He needs to fight me. I'm like higher ranked than him. I don't need to fight Joseph Parker. I can have another couple of easy fights while I wait for my shot.
When he signed with Sky, did you have any inkling in terms of like negotiations going on with Joe and Sky or other fights for him, or was you very much made to believe that it was just talks between you two and that was all that was being discussed between both parties?
Yeah, I think it was a bit sneaky, Ben Shalom, talking like, because he kind of agreed the fight with Frank Warren and to have it on BT, but then like he's like in the meantime he's making deals with Sky, so.
Away from Joe Parker, Joe, we just want to get thoughts on the British title. So you did an interview with my colleague Eamon the other day, but I just want you to pick up on something. I've spoken to Fabio Wardley and Nathan Gorman. They're kind of waiting in the wings to fight for that now. I don't imagine you want to defend your British title. You want to challenge for world honours.
Yeah.
So I spoke to Adam earlier. He thinks that vacating it seems likely at some point soon. Are you on the same lines? Would you be happy to vacate that now if you move towards those world title shots?
I mean, it's a beautiful belt, the British title. Like they were quick to get it back as well. But yeah, I'll probably let it go because I'm looking to get the world titles now. So I can let one of them fight for it.
On the world title front, Usyk AJ2. We had the press conference yesterday. What do you make of that rematch on August 20th?
Yeah, of
Usyk and AJ.
Oh, Usyk and AJ. Yeah, that's an interesting, intriguing fight. I mean, it'd be good if AJ beats him again, but it's a big ask because Usyk's such a skillful fighter, and he seems to be in good shape. They both had good training camps, and Josh is obviously making the adjustment with Garcia, and hopefully he can then use that what he's learned in the fight. And it's interesting to see which way it will go, if it's going to be a repeat or a revenge.
Who do you edge towards in the rematch?
It's a tough one. Like, I'd say probably Usyk again will probably get the victory, but I'm not writing off AJ because he's got a puncher's chance and he's got a big punch.
Joe, obviously in recent times we've seen you a bit more vocal over social media and interviews, kind of calling out the other leading names in the division. It's a side to you we haven't been used to. Not that we're complaining, we love it, being able to interview and ask you these questions, but where has this side come from?
Well, I guess I can get triggered at some point, and I just letting the people know what I think of them. So yeah.
I saw your comments about AJ a couple of days ago, saying that you feel sometimes when he talks it's scripted. Can you kind of just elaborate on that for me, please?
Well, I mean, on the GB we've had like media training and stuff, and he's has like big sponsors, so he has to be quite corporate, and he's. But then, when he breaks character, he kind of exposes his his roadman mentality that he's got in the locker. He used to be it sometimes comes out. So I'm just telling you what I think.
Is there a rivalry building there between the pair of you now? Do you feel like it's getting to that point where a lot of British boxing fans, we'd love to see it now, don't get me wrong, but because of the talk, and certainly AJ has responded previously as well, that there could be a massive fight to be had there, hopefully.
Yeah, man, I'd love to fight him, because he's always been ahead of me. Before, when I got on the GB team, he was already qualified for the Olympics. There's no chance there, and then obviously he went pro earlier, got his world title and stuff. When then I went to the Olympics. But I mean, it's been, we spent countless rounds, and. He's a good guy and that, but it's just frustrating, the way how his career has progressed and mine has been like difficult and stuff. So I'm voicing my opinions. But then like when he's like leaking, him or his team leaking like the footage of sparring where it's like very one-sided, and that fight, the first fight we had as an amateur, but people forget I had to fight before. I had to fight twice on that night. He only had to fight me once, and the whole crowd and support was like on his side, and the referee jumping in soon. I had to fight a couple, but I'm giving excuses. But yeah, I probably wasn't ready for that fight.
Have you spoken to AJ about any of that? You mentioned the sparring footage, and we've mentioned these kind of back and forths over social media. Have you actually messaged him privately? You said like, what's going on here, or just like kind of having a back and forth with him personally?
No, I did have his number, but I think he changed it after the Ruiz loss. I did actually send him like a message, but then obviously he would have got a lot of messages after that. So, but I haven't really seen him. I mean, I see him like walk past to me in a fight, like fight night, a fight sometime. But like, yeah, I haven't really had any contact with him. So I don't know.
Pair of you cross paths, Joe, what would happen?
I don't know. I was thinking of showing up to the press conference yesterday.
You should have done that. Would have caused some scenes. You could have had a word with Usyk as well. Get that amateur rivalry going again.
Yeah, I'll fight either one. I'll fight the winner.
I'm sure you'd love to. Just before I let you go, Joe, I saw Bob Arum's comments that he'd love to make a fight between yourself and Tyson Fury if Tyson does come out of retirement.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, another fight. I'd love to fight Tyson Fury. I mean, I've spent more time with him recently, and but this is a sport, and I'd love to fight the best, and he is the best at right now, I believe, and let's hope he doesn't stay retired long, and I'm here if you want to fight.
Right, Joe, it's a pleasure as always. Now I'll leave you to wrap up the rest of your interviews. Thank you for speaking to me in Boxing Social. Good luck on Saturday.
All right, thanks.